Hey everyone, First T here. Thanks for checking out this YouTube channel.
Congratulations, Brendon Todd, on winning the 2019 Mayakoba Golf Classic and winning back-to-back. Here's his post-win press conference interview.
Well, you just mentioned the FedEx Cup. You do take the lead. You move from 17th to number 1. So that's a pretty high number right there. Going forward, I understand you're playing next week.
I am.
And then you'll head to Maui,
right.
Which you're already in, but it's another place in paradise, just like Bermuda and Mayakoba. Just talk about
I mean, I seem to be playing well here on the vacation spots and all these tropical resorts. So. Sea Island's another wonderful destination on the coast of Georgia, so hopefully I'll go there and keep the magic going. And then obviously Maui and the Sony Open at Wildlife Country Club are just two more fantastic tropical places. So, we're on a nice swing of golf here, and I'm playing really well, and I'm just enjoying it.
Before we take some questions, just talk about last night having to stop in the dark, having 4 holes left and coming out again and doing the preparation in a short period of time for that, and just talk a little bit about those 4 holes this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't finish very well yesterday, making a par 5 on 13 and then making the bogey on 14. So, I was a little frustrated because I felt like I'd already had some chances to build my lead, and the putts hadn't fallen. So to then drop basically 2 shots and fall back into a tie there with Vaughn, I was a little disappointed going into last night, but I did a good job of trying to just brush it off and look at it as an opportunity this morning. I got some good sleep from 9:30 to 3:30, but I woke up thinking about golf and just couldn't go back to sleep. And I came out, had my normal warm up, and my game and my body felt great this morning. And I'd say it showed because I was definitely feeling some nerves out there, and I hit a lot of good shots.
So, making that comment late last night, the last question you had was, what do you need to do in the morning? And you said, make that first putt, and you came out and you did it. How big was that?
That was so huge. I mean, I think playoff at best if I missed that first putt, because 16 is not a birdie hole. We all bogeyed it in our final group. 17 had a tricky pin, and 18 is a tough par hole as well. So that was just really big to come out and make the birdie and, get the lead.
Okay, we've got a few questions lined up. We'll start with Cameron over here and then one in the front left. You have a microphone? Cameron, just go out loud and I'll repeat it.
So you've remained very optimistic throughout your trials and all the next cuts and everything. Do you come from a particularly optimistic family or?
Okay, just ask it again with the microphone.
You remained optimistic throughout your trials of missing cuts and whatnot. Were your parents optimistic, or where did you learn that optimism? Because it was quite tested, and you held on to it.
Yeah, there's no doubt that my parents are generally pretty positive people. We've never, nobody in our family really has been one to focus on the negatives or, just we usually would give each other a hard time if you're being negative or a quitter or whatnot. But I think a lot of it for me was just the self-belief I had and all the previous success that I'd had. Like I've told you before, I've won at the highest level of junior golf, highest level of college golf, and I've won at all levels of pro golf before I had the struggles. And I'd already been through a slump like that in 2010. So while it did last longer and I did consider maybe looking for other things to do, I always knew if I got my game back, I would know how to play at this level. It's just a matter of, can I hit the ball between the trees?
Yes, sir. Birdie.
Brendon, the course seemed to play a little faster day after day the drier it got.
It did.
Was it difficult to adjust to the changes, and particularly the wind yesterday?
I think even though it was drying out, the ball still was sitting pretty soft in the fairways, and the greens remained receptive. So the difficult part from the conditions was really just always keeping an eye on the speed of the greens, because that fluctuated a little bit from day to day. And then, like you said, navigating the wind, because every day it blew, 8 to 12, and you can't feel any wind when you're in the fairways or on the tee boxes because you have the bushes surrounding you. So you're always just looking at your compass, trying to stick to the wind direction of the day, and do your best to hit a solid shot.
One.
Yeah, Can you go through your mindset on 18? I mean, you didn't hit a great tee shot,
Right.
and then you get close to the green. I think the chip shot was as big as your putt. So what were you thinking there when you got close to the green? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little nervous there on 18, but my game plan was just to hit the ball in play and then hit it up by the green and make par and force Vaughn to make a birdie to beat me. My drive only missed the fairway by a yard, and I had a good lie. I actually was surprised I hit it that short of the green. And then, yeah, the chip was very big, but I did draw a pretty nice lie there, and that's the strength of my game is chipping. So it was nice to hit a good pitch up there and put myself in a position where I felt like I could make that putt. 9 out of 10.
One more thing. So the fact that the groupings didn't change, I mean, because
Right.
of the rain and all that, and you were not that exposed to the local crowd and all that, do you think that helped having a quieter round? You know?
I don't think the crowds really mattered. I would have been fine either way. But I was playing with Harris English, who's a Georgia Bulldog, and Vaughn Taylor, who lives in Georgia as well. So 2 guys I'm very good friends with. And that just made it real pleasant. You know, it was definitely a good pairing for me.
I'll get it over to Cameron and then next to Cameron. Downlink, thanks.
You mentioned that you have won at every level. Have you won back-to-back as a junior or in college? And what's next for you? I mean, have you given that a moment's thought? Like, how high can you take this?
I don't think I've won back-to-back from my knowledge. If I did, it was when I was 12 or 13, you know, playing just smaller junior events. But, you know, I think after I won Bermuda, I felt good enough about my game there and had enough confidence to, I even said in an interview, you know, the goal is to win multiple times this year. I've never done that. You know, I think it's an impressive feat when guys win multiple times in one year on the PGA Tour because it is so difficult to win. And that's my main goal. I mean, you know, when I only had 1 win and I was struggling and even coming back, like my friends had 3, 4, and 5 wins, I was like envious, you know, because I feel like I'm capable of being a guy who wins 5 or 10 times out here, but I hadn't proven that. So to have the opportunity now to go out and keep playing for 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 more years out here and, you know, chase wins is a big deal for me and something I'm looking forward to.
Yes, ma'am.
So which hole from El Camelin do you consider was the most difficult for you?
The most difficult hole, probably by my score would have been 14 because I played at 1 over par. But 16, I think, probably presents the most challenge from the tee shot, the length of the hole, and then the large undulating green. But I did have a nice birdie there, I think, in my opening round, and then let a par slip away today. But that's another great hole out here.
Colin.
Hey, Brendon.
Hey.
So with 2 wins in a row, number 1 in the FedEx Cup, and speculation of an injury to Brooks Koepka, has it crossed your mind that Tiger could consider you as a captain's pick as a replacement with playing as well as you have?
It hasn't, except that before the Bermuda Championship, I was on the driving range with Jerry Foltz, and he said something like, "Oh, your game looks good. Win 3 in a row, and maybe you'll make the President's Cup." And then he's like, "No, actually, if you win 3 in a row, you still won't make the President's Cup, but go for it anyways." So now I haven't thought about that. It would be nice to play well next year and have a chance at the Ryder Cup. I mean, that's playing those Cup teams is definitely a dream of mine and something hopefully I'll achieve.
Rudy.
Brendon, on Friday, the first day, it seemed that most shots, particularly with a high apex, would drop and stick and not continue moving forward. And that pretty much held up for a couple of more days from what I could see. How difficult does that make it for you to judge the movement forward of the ball once it hits?
Well, honestly, it kind of makes it easy because you know wherever you fly it, it's going to stop. And that's why when you see soft greens on the PGA Tour, you see low scores. You could make the golf course 8,000 yards, but and high rough, but if you have soft greens, you will see low scores out here because guys are so good at hitting the ball accurately. So, you know, for me, the soft greens just kind of took one more variable out of the equation.
Cameron.
Brendon, we're all looking at a pretty amazing comeback story. When you look around you, what's your favorite comeback story, either in golf or in a movie or a book or anything like that?
Wow. I loved the Rocky movie, so I know Rocky had a pretty good comeback there in the middle of his career, towards the end of his career. So Rocky 5 would probably be my favorite sports comeback movie. But at the moment, it's tough for me to sit here and evaluate that because I haven't paid that much attention to all the different comeback stories in sports that I could give you one right now.
We'll take one more from Colin behind you.
Brendon, you said during those years that you were having some down years, you considered other things. What were those other things?
I've been told by a handful of people that are in the corporate world that I'd make a good businessman or a good real estate guy or something, but it never really interested me to go get an office job. But last fall I did sit down with my financial manager and we did talk about maybe opening up a franchise, maybe a pizza franchise or a food franchise or something. So that was about as far as we got. We had the meeting, we talked about it, we set up a future meeting, and then I qualified for the RSM, and we canceled the meeting, and I just played golf. So as Jorge said out there, I've made myself a nice new business, and I'm enjoying it.
All right, just one more for Rudy.
Brendon, Carlos Ortiz considers this almost his home basketball court if you were playing basketball, but it's home courts. Did you feel at all pressured by the fact that he stayed right up there along about number 2 and right behind you most of the time?
Yeah, I saw his name coming up the leaderboard, and considering I was pretty sure he shot 10 or 11 under yesterday during the 34 holes that he played, or 35 holes, I viewed him as a threat that could have potentially maybe tied it up with me at some point. So, and then knowing he had to play one more hole today, so I never knew where he was going to finish. But Carlos played an unbelievable tournament this week, and I think he should be proud of the way he played.
Just perhaps one final comment. You were standing on that last green watching Vaughn Taylor putt for birdie with you having a par putt remaining. What was going through your mind then, and did you think he was going to make that? Or was it
walking up to the green, I told my caddy, we got to get this up and down because Vaughn's going to make it. I mean, he really putted so well, especially on the first 9 in the third round. And, he didn't make as many putts, in this fourth round, but I think he's a great putter, and I expected him to make it. And so, I was a little concerned. It felt good that I had a fairly straight 4-footer to match him if he did make it. So I was just lucky that his ball came up short because I think he had a nice putt.
Congratulations once again, Brendon Todd. What are your thoughts on this year's 2019 Mayakoba Golf Classic? Let me know in the comments section below. And please, click on the thumbs up icon if you liked this video. Subscribing to this YouTube channel and sharing the video also helps. Don't forget to click on the notification button for this channel so you won't miss the next First 2T video.